Insights on the shadow of judgment and how judgment gets a bad rap. And there's different levels of judgment. The judgment when it's coming from the mind, and then when an individual is judging from the heart, which is for the highest good for all humanity and coming from a place of love and compassion. So let's break that down a little bit. So when judgment is coming from the shadow aspect of the victim mind, it will go into different patterns. These patterns have all been created from your childhood, from the response and the feedback that you got back from your parents through your childhood years and also your teenage years. So the shadow of judgment can show up as in repressive, where the individual no longer stands for what they feel is true, does not stand up for things that they become silent and they become obedient and they go along with the status quo that's out there, as there's a fear of actually standing out or actually being judged because they're self-judging. Then there is the reactive side of the shadow aspect of judgment of the victim mind, where they go into superiority, where they will think that they are above others. And it's really, really tricky when someone is in the victim mind. The shift from that, when you shift from the victim mind and shift into activating your gift, which is being in integrity, there is a shift that needs to happen. Integrity is the willingness and the courage to stand for what you believe in, to stand for what you know is the highest good for all humanity. The courage to be disliked, the courage to be judged, and the courage to challenge others that are not meeting your high standards. This can often play out when you communicate with others, and I had this a few weeks ago. So what I experienced was it felt like an entanglement of somebody else's opinion, judgment. That was their perspective. And I chose to stand in integrity and express, i.e. to give back what they were unconsciously attempting to put onto me, and really standing in my truth and expressing from a place of love, from a place of compassion, to actually, you do not need to take everything on board, to actually, in effect, reject with love what was not aligned, and to really stand in that essence and truth of integrity of what was being communicated. And often what happens is this will not be received, and that is okay too. Those that are not ready to step up into integrity will not be able to receive it, because then they will go into the reactive, they'll go into the defensive. They may perceive that you're attacking them, but yet you are standing in your integrity and you're standing in your truth as you are seeking the highest alignment and the highest of standards to be able to meet others heart to heart, to hide nothing, and to truly shift, so we can truly shift as humanity from the victim of judgment, of reaction or defensiveness, to actually then shift to really standing in integrity, which is a willingness to be seen, a willingness to be vulnerable, and the courage to be disliked. So judgment does get a bad rap. Yes, we can say we shift beyond non-judgment, and the distinction is, are you judging from the mind perspective, from your own opinion and judgment that you hold on to rigidly because you're afraid to let go of it, or you're afraid to even stand in the truth of it? Or are you allowing to bring the power of your mind, which drops down into your heart, which requires courage for really standing in integrity for what you stand and believe in, because you are on this mission to raise the bar higher, so humanity can keep improving and keep improving. I really hope that you've got lots of value from it. If you want a little bit more clarity, if you want to book in for a one-to-one to really go deeper, i.e. look at the shadow aspects, go into the inner child healing, go into the rebellious teenager and see what is keeping you stuck, to really start to access the power of your mind, to shift it from self-sabotage into self-reliance and self-integrity. Much love, Zoe.